This video is brought to you by Saraswati Vidyalaya Union, and this is Prapti. Today we are going to see detailed information of reproduction in lower and higher animals. Now let's see that there are various life processes responsible for the continuation of human race. For example, human respiration, human excretion, circulation, digestion. All these are very important, but among all these, the most important process for the continuation of human race, it is human reproduction. So that we are going to see in detail in this lesson, as well as there are different organisms such as amoeba, planaria, paramecium. So which type of reproduction takes place in this organism, that also we are going to see in detail in this lesson, as well as for example hydra, how that hydra is reproduces, that also we are going to see in detail in this lesson. Now let's see what is the reproduction. See the definition of reproduction. It is a biological process of formation of new life forms from pre-existing similar life. So this process is a vital process which enables a species to survive over a long period, even though the organisms or individual live naturally for limited period of life. For example, their lifespan. And here, what are the importance of this reproduction? Mainly two importance are there. Here it is very important in maintaining the continuity of life. Means you can say that it helps in the continuation of species, as well as it is very important to make up the loss due to the death of that organism. For that purpose, this reproduction playing an important role. And now let's see the next one. What the topics we are going to see in this lesson. So that the first one is there, various methods of reproduction, gametogenesis, fertilization, early embryology, parturition, and reproductive health. All these we are going to see in detail in this lesson. Now first one is there, so that are the two methods of the reproduction. So here in this chapter, two basic patterns of reproductions are there. So the first one is there, asexual reproduction, and the second one is there, sexual reproduction. Now what is the asexual reproduction? So that is formation of offspring without fusion of gamete. Remember this one, without fusion of gamete. That's why it is called as the asexual reproduction, and that's why it is known as the apomixis, because gametes are not fusing. That's why it is known as the apomixis. See that the next point, it is uniparental, and new offsprings are produced by single parent without fusion of gamete. Hence it is called as the agametogenesis. Means here no fusion of gametes and only one parent is involved. That's why it is known as the uniparental. Now see the next point. In this, the new individuals which are produced only by the mitotic division, and this mitotic division forms the parts of its own body. Hence it is called as the somatogenetic. Then next topic, generally all form of offsprings are identical with each other. Means that daughter cells are there, that daughter cells are similar to their parents. That's why it is called as the clones. Means what you can say, as they are genetically similar, hence they do not show variation. So this is one of the topic, one of the point. So next, it is a quick method of reproduction, and this reproduction process, so it is generally found in what? It is generally found in the sponges, Coelentratas, and certain flatworm. All these are the general characteristics of the asexual reproduction. Now let's see the sexual reproduction. In the sexual reproduction, so formation of offspring by the fusion of gametes. So that's why it is known as the sexual reproduction. Means here both the gametes are required, both the gametes are important. So that's why here it is known as the apomixis. Amphimixis. Amphi means what? Amphi means both, and mixes means both the gamete get mixes, so that's why it is known as the amphimixes. Now see the general characteristics. Here both the parents are required, so that's why it is not called as the uniparental. And here the parents, there is the fusion of gamete takes place, that's why this process is known as the gametogenesis. And here you can say that the new individual which are produced by the meiotic division, not the mitotic division, it is produced by the meiotic division, and that's why it is known as the gametogenetic. Next point, in this, whatever the offsprings are produced, these offsprings are not identical with each other. These offsprings are not identical with their parents. Okay, so they are dissimilar. In this, they are genetically dissimilar also. So that's why they are not means the variation is there. So that's why this is one of the point included into this. Like these are the distinguishing point between the sex reproduction and the sex reproduction. Now see the example of sex reproduction that takes place in various animals as well as a human being. Okay, so these are the distinguishing point between the asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction. Now let's see in detail about the asexual reproduction. Now, as I have already told you, asexual reproduction means what? Here the formation of offspring without fusion of gametes. Now these are the types of asexual reproduction. Here the first point is their fusion, second one gemule formation, third one budding, and the last one is the regeneration. Now we'll see one by one of these different types of asexual reproduction. Now the first thing is their fusion. Okay, fusion means what? In these, the fully grown parent body divides into the two or more parts. That's why it is called as the fusion. Means what happened exactly in this? The parent cell is there. This parent cell divides into two or more parts, and each part develops into the daughter individual. We can see the example of amoeba. This amoeba divides into the two daughter cell. Okay, and you can see that the different other examples also. So in that example, that parent cell divides into the many parts. Remember this one. In the fusion, either that parent cell divide into the two part or it divide into the many parts. So whenever it divides into the two parts, that time it is known as the binary fusion. Bi means two. That's why it is known as the binary fusion. And when the parent cell divides into the many parts, so that time it is known as the multiple fusion. Have you understood the difference? Binary fusion and the next one is what? That is multiple fusion. In the binary fusion, that parent cell divide into the two daughter cell, and the multiple fusion, the parent cell divide into the many daughter cell. This is the binary fusion. In this fusion, now let's see first one about the binary fusion. In this, the example is the paramecium as well as amoeba. As well as in the binary fusion, the example is what? That is paramecium, as I have told you. Plasmodium is also one of the example. Okay, now the next topic, that is budding unicellular or multicellular outgrowth of external or internal surface of the body are called buds. Each multicellular bud enlarges, develops the parental characters, and then separate to lead independent life. Budding is found among sponges, cylindrids, and tunicates. In these types of budding, there are the two types of budding, such as exogenous budding and endogenous budding. Exogenous budding, which is known as the external budding. This type of budding which occurs in the hydra. In this, the bud is formed on the outer surface of the body. In hydra, the exogenous bud develops into mature bud and parent body detach and become independent new hydra. Now let's see in the video. In this video, in hydra, the bud grows into small hydra which detach from the parent and become an independent new organism. Like this, the next example, so that is the yeast and the cycon. In the yeast and the cycon, so these buds which develops on the external surface on the parent body, then from that parent body it remains as it is on that parent body. But if you observe in the hydra it get detached from that parent body and it grow as a separate one. But in the yeast and the cycon, so this bud which remains as it is on the parent body, it do not get separate. Now next type of budding, which is known as the endogenous budding. Endogenous budding is also known as the internal budding. In this internal budding, the bud is formed from the inner surface of parent body. This type of the budding which occurs in the spongilla and the epididyma. In the spongilla, a fresh water sponge, a number of buds that is called as the gemmules. These gemmules are formed inside the parental body, and then each gemmule, that is a mass of undifferentiated cells called as the archaeocyte. The archaeocytes are surrounded by protective coat at amphibious spicules, and this gemmule helps in the dispersal. During the favorable condition, this archaeocyte come out of gemmule through small opening called as a micropyle and form a new sponges. During unfavorable condition, they remain inside that organism only. And whenever there is a favorable condition is there, so during that favorable condition, so these gemmule, these small ball-like structure buds are there, they are coming outside that gemmule. So this is the example, that example which is given, that is spongilla. Now the next one is there, that is known as the regeneration. Usually the term regeneration is used for the rejuvenation of lost part of the body. It is mostly found in sponges, coelenterata. In some platforms like planaria, regeneration occur by the way transverse binary fission. The body of planaria divides into anterior and posterior parts by transverse binary fission. In the process of regeneration, this planaria can fundamentally repair and restore or its lost or damaged part. In this process, this posterior part produces the anterior part, and wherever the anterior part is there, so that anterior part produces two parts. Whenever this planaria get divided into the two pieces, each piece grows into a new planaria. That is, two clones of the original have been formed. So this is known as the regeneration. Like this, in today's topic, we have completed reproduction, definition of reproduction, types of reproduction, sexual and asexual reproduction, and types of asexual reproduction. So like this, and subscribe it. Thank you.